Please, I swear, please, 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 please take this, please. Please, M25, please take this, please.
Archana Varambali is terrified of motorways.
Please, please. Mommy.
Her irrational fear is threatening her marriage.
Prove it to me, no? You prove it to me that you love me more than your panic attack. Let's see. Can you prove that?
I don't have that control right now.
No, that means to say that you don't love me more than your panic attack.
She is one of 5 million people in the UK suffering from agoraphobia, an acute fear of the outside world.
I'm tired, Bala. I'm really tired. You can do whatever you want. You know what's going to happen now.
In a last-ditch attempt to save her marriage, she's moving to a South London house under the care of leading agoraphobia expert Professor Paul Shalkovskis. In a unique treatment, she will live with 2 fellow agoraphobics.
That's it. I can't do no more. I can't go anywhere. I've got to go back, Wavy. I can't do this.
A single mum who can't get her 8-year-old daughter to school.
Mom! Mom!
And a 31-year-old divorcee who can barely leave his bedroom.
I can't spend the rest of my life like this. I've got to get a life for myself.
First, they have to get to the house.
Turn round, please. Oh God, I'm feeling like I'm about to faint. I feel like an idiot.
And face the challenges of everyday life.
Oh no, Nick, I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh no.
Then help each other confront their deepest fears to see if this pioneering treatment will cure their agoraphobia forever.
I'm not happy, please.
You need to go through this.
I really want my mom so badly. Fuck it.
To go back home, that's all. Well, no, I'm not going to go on the A4. Either you go on the M4 or we are going to go back.
Trainee GP Archana can't work. Her panic attacks are threatening her marriage to fellow medic Amrit. She's 4 months pregnant.
And trust me, if you have a child, I will go to the court and I will take the custody of the child. It will be very easy for me to do that. It will be extremely easy for me to do that. If you are stuck within the...
Splitting headache.
I don't care, Bale. Okay, if you have a splitting headache, we'll go on M4 and we'll finish it off. Do you love yourself more than you love me?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. So can we go in the airport?
No, we are not going to go on the airport. We are going to go back home, that's all. Okay?
So looking forward to getting any sort of help that I can get so that I can become at least 50% of what I used to be able to look after my baby and be the mother that I've always wanted to be. And so that my child can look up to his mom and say, oh, that's my mummy.
18 months ago, Archana's husband moved away to start a new job in Kent, but she's too scared to travel there to join him. They're now leading separate lives, renting 2 properties and occasionally seeing each other at weekends.
27th of December was our 3rd wedding anniversary. And it was the first time that we weren't even together. Because he had put in a deadline that by then I should get well and moved with him. And that didn't happen.
I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know whether she will be able to cope with me and my career, whether I'll be able to cope with her problems and my career. I'm not sure.
Today, anxiety expert Professor Paul Shalkovskis is preparing a house in South London for the arrival of 3 agoraphobics to try out his groundbreaking treatment.
Typically, people misunderstand agoraphobia, thinking it's a fear of wide open spaces, whereas in fact it's a fear of having a panic attack where something terrible will happen. So if they react by retreating from their anxiety and trying to stop bad things from happening, that reinforces the way they feel, and the agoraphobia then spreads, so life becomes a constant seeking after safety. Actually, it's the kind of thing that you and I could experience at any time in our lives.
Last year, the professor brought 3 OCD sufferers to live together to see if they could help cure each other. Now he wants the agoraphobics to do the same. But first, he has to get them to the new house.
You got a house key? Yeah, I got the keys.
Tomorrow, the professor will collect Archana from her home. Her sister, Amita, coaxes her out in preparation.
Instead of looking at the floor, look around. Enjoy it. You haven't been outside in so long. Let's just go this way and see how far.
No, man. Because...
Come.
No, I don't want to take my chances. I told you.
Archana hasn't gone beyond the hospital campus where she lives for 8 months. The main entrance makes her panic as the roads remind her of the motorway.
No, we can go till then now.
We don't go there. I don't go there anymore.
But you can do it now, today.
No, I can't.
Chana, come on. Don't swear, I get.
Come, let's go. Bloody hell.
You can.
No, man. I told you I can't.
You're forcing him.
I'm not. You are forcing me.
Now, don't get angry. Listen, we're all trying to help you, no?
Oh, please.
Arch,
What?
isn't this what you want? Or do you want to go back to the house and sit inside again?
I'm tired, I told you.
Do you want to just sit inside those 4 doors, 4 walls?
You can't make this step. How can you go and make more than
That was a problem. I did say that. I did mention it, isn't it? How do I get there to London? Because I can't even get to bloody hospital, the front entrance.
Fellow sufferer Simon Ivan Zamforth is due to travel to the House of Agoraphobics later today.
This is like facing your biggest fear. And it's as if someone's asking me to walk off a cliff with a blindfold on and trust them that there's a net underneath. And even though it's screaming in my head, logic and stuff, everything will be okay, there's still that thing there that's just going, no. So.
Simon spends every day in his bedroom, imprisoned inside his parents' flat. He can't walk more than 50 yards from his home without panicking and running back. He's now totally reliant on his mum and dad, Joe.
I can't understand people who panic as Simon does. It's a matter of pull yourself together and get on with it type of thing. And I'm of an age, you know, where I think that's the way thoughts go. But I realise at the same time that Simon can't just pull himself together and get on with it. So I've got to accept this.
It's as if I'm still a kid, almost. I've reverted, and yeah, I don't like it at all.
I think this is his one big chance, you know, to really make it through and get a life, as one might say.
Simon was a happy and flourishing graphic designer until 5 years ago. Following the breakup of his marriage, he became agoraphobic.
I lost her, my group of friends, my flat, my job, all within basically the space of a week. And I just really retreated into my shell. Because it just seems like just one long panic attack all the way through from that sort of period onwards.
It's 3 p.m, and the professor arrives to prepare Simon to leave his neighbourhood for the first time in 5 years.
I know you want to do it because you already explained that. The question is whether you're going to do it now. So,
can I have a couple of minutes by myself to mull it over, please?
You can. Absolutely fine.
Right, I'm going to think.
You want to do it? It's very difficult for Simon, not for me. Really, really tough thing to do because it's, as I said, it's a leap of faith. And it's tough. We need your
decision, really.
Well, this is probably the part then when you have to decide whether or not you make a leap of faith. So, are you going to do it? Okay, let's go. Get your things.
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
It takes 2 hours of therapy to get Simon out of the flat.
I might chicken out. Oh, crap it. I just feel like as soon as we pass a certain barrier there, I feel like I'm going to freak out.
And what should I be watching for when you freak out?
The fact that I can't breathe properly and...
Do you feel like crying?
Yes, I do.
I think it's okay to cry, you know?
Now I feel like I'm on Oprah Winfrey. Oh, it keeps going to waves.
Did you notice that it comes and goes? One of the things that often happens when people panic is they feel that it will come and stay there forever.
I know, it comes and goes, but I don't like it.
And goes. Yeah, but actually, the more you allow it to come and go, the more it comes and goes and continues to go.
Right, the adrenaline's risen.
What's happening?
I'm feeling a panic attack coming on.
And?
It's getting bad.
Okay, take it right to the top.
Oh, I don't want to.
I know, but
I'm going to have to
you
because
need
I'm
to get
here.
through. Yeah, you are.
Oh, fuck it.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
not.
No, it is actually.
It's
because
not.
This is what stood between you and the
Oh,
rest
you
of the world.
fucker. I can't stand this.
I know you can't, but you
this
can
is-
really, you can really. I mean, one of the things that happens is places where you previously panicked often actually remind you of how it works when you need to get through that. Yeah? Get through that, you get through the whole lot.
For Simon, leaving home is an enormous step forward, but the difficult journey to conquer his agoraphobia is just beginning. Trainee GP Archana is terrified of motorways. Now leading psychiatrist Professor Paul Shalkovskis and therapist Debbie Cullen are preparing her to travel so she can take part in a unique treatment plan, the House of Agoraphobics.
I've lost everything. I'm still in my late 20s and I've lost everything.
Through no fault of your own.
No fault of my own.
Didn't that also make you a bit angry?
Very angry, because that's when I stopped praying to God. Because I couldn't blame my parents, I couldn't blame society, I couldn't blame anyone else.
Could you not blame Amrit?
He wasn't totally responsible. He wasn't responsible for anything that had happened to me.
Archana's husband Amrit arrives from Kent to help get her to London.
Excited. Let's see.
After 90 minutes of intensive panic therapy, Archana agrees to set off with Paul and Debbie.
Food is here, that's what's important for me right now.
It's a huge act of bravery on your part.
It's absolutely huge. I mean, I can't even express. I mean, I can't even express how it feels like to be outside in the sense. It's, I can't picture myself here. It just, I'm used to the four walls.
You've been a prisoner.
I have, because...
And this is the bus out, you know?
But I must tell you, I'm actually very terrified of going on the motorway now. I mean, people are taking me there because it's 3 lanes and with no exits. It really feels terrifying.
Archana's agoraphobia began after a severe panic attack on the M4 shortly after she left her family home in South Africa for her arranged marriage. She's avoided all motorways ever since.
Oh, look, that road is not ending. It just seems so far. It never ends. It just feels that it's not going to end, and I'm going to be trapped here. I can't even get off.
What does that mean?
No, the problem is, see, because there's also fences.
Many agoraphobics suffer panic attacks so strong they're convinced they could be fatal.
Can't we just stop for a while?
Archana,
Come on, I've done so well. I can't get out of here.
If you can't get out, what does that mean?
What's the
worst case?
I will die, and
Sorry?
I don't want to die like this. This is not what I want to die like.
I don't want you to die like this. And actually, Archana, I know you're not going to die like this. It's the physical symptoms of the panic itself that make people think they're going to die. A person might experience palpitations and think they're going to have a heart attack. The symptoms are just so strong that people find it hard to believe it's anything other than some disaster such as dying.
Can we just, if I could just park here?
No, we can't. It's dangerous.
At the hard shoulder, then at least I can talk to you.
Archana, I need to talk to you now. Please try and talk
If you
now.
go here, then...
Archana, I need you to talk now.
After a struggle, Paul delivers 2 agoraphobics to the new house. Next, he sets off for Birmingham and single mum Sue Turner. Each day, her daughter Adrian hopes her mum will walk her to school.
What's it like when you're going to school? How do you feel?
I feel like I've been set free from the house.
Every time Sue attempts the short trip, she gets no further than the end of the road. But this doesn't stop Adrian from trying.
I can feel my heart pounding. Terrified.
You'll be okay and breathe, and your heart won't keep on pounding because of that.
6 years ago, Sue was a successful financial assistant in a stable relationship, but she lost it all to agoraphobia.
I was alive then. Very, very, very outgoing. Very big party, and I used to love going out.
You're nearly there.
Oh my God.
You're nearly there.
I'm going back. Heather, it's too far for me now. I can't do it anymore. It's all right.
Adrian's school journey is always the same. Her mother's dream is to be able to finally take her there.
You're safe. You're safe. Today, I'm proud of her because she got really, really far. Well, out close and past the shop.
Very, very worst thing ever that you can't take your child out. You know, I feel like I've let her down as a mum.
I mean, when you're having those, just one of those 1 or 2 panic attacks each day, how quickly would they build up? Would it be like they would build up ever so slowly over a longer period, or would they just
No, wow.
Like, I mean, it's there kind of
That's
thing.
it, yeah.
So in a second or so.
Agoraphobia can sometimes be set off by panic attacks following an emotional trauma. Sue's panics began as a child.
What kind of things do you remember?
I have flashbacks. If I'm doing nothing.
If you do nothing.
You know, if I'm not studying, if I haven't got my head in a book, or I can't concentrate on a TV programme, or, you know, then, yeah, it'll come into my head.
Do you get pictures in your head as we're talking about them?
Yeah.
Sue's problems can be traced back to really quite early childhood. Those traumas, those things that happened to her have made her feel anxious both then and there's an echo now in terms of what kind of things she fears.
I know it's hard for her, but she needs to take risks, and I've told her this before, and try like to do it.
With the help of Paul, Sue makes it to London to join the other 2 housemates.
I'm gonna miss you.
I love you.
I love you.
It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. She's my rock. She's the one that, when things get bad, she's the one that puts her arms around me and tells me, Mummy, it's gonna be okay. I suppose I need to go back in and sort it out now.
Adrian is being looked after by her auntie and stepdad while her mum is in London.
We made it. Everybody made it to the agoraphobic house. Sue?
Doing all right.
Archana? Simon?
Hello.
So what we're going to try and do over the next few days is to help you make more sense of the panic. You've already made a start on that. And then work with you in consolidating that and putting it into practice.
But I mean, how far could you travel?
I walked to the top of my road, which is probably the length of this house, and that's it.
Yeah. It's and you're here.
Oh no. With no Valium. That's amazing.
I'm a doctor. I'm also suffering
Oh,
from
well,
this
we'll be
reason.
all right then.
Back at home, Adrian is hoping Sue will return cured.
I love her to bits, but something's got to change. Like, her agoraphobia's got to go, or I'm never going to be able to go anywhere before I'm about 10.
What's gone already may seem like hard work, but the really hard work's about to begin. Our aim now is to help them root out the beliefs which are driving the panic, help them clobber those, help them discover the things they're afraid of aren't going to happen, and then apply that in the real world.
The professor starts by finding out exactly what sparks off panic attacks in each of them. Then, along with therapist Nick Gray, he wants them to realise these fears won't harm them. Sue goes first.
So, you know, the panic has pushed you back. It's time for you to go hunting, you know, to see if we can actually get the panic to come out.
If I go 5 minutes down that way and turn the corner, yeah, I can't turn my head and see this house.
Right. What about if you go 15 minutes that way and then can't see the house? Is that worse or better than 5 minutes?
That's probably worse.
Sue goes out to face her fear head-on, accompanied by therapists Nick and Blake Stobie.
Which way do you want to go, Sue? Left, right?
That way, because it's the longest way.
That's good.
How are you feeling just now?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any physical sensations at all?
No.
No?
Not even through the excitement, 'cause I'm quite excited that I'm out doing this.
Were you trying to keep a lid on the excitement at all?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think I am, yeah.
Is that because of the fear of having a panic attack?
Yeah.
So I guess one of the things we really want you to do, like not just now, but like throughout these 2 weeks and beyond, is let yourself get really excited.
The therapists now want Sue to walk alone without them.
What if you carried on a bit? Maybe even to the train station? We'll wait here for you.
Are you mad? Sorry, Brian.
So what's the worst that could happen?
I have a panic attack.
And what would be the worst thing about that?
Nothing. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get out of this road. We're going to shoot through the traffic here. Like this. But you know what? Fuck it. Yeah. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. If a panic comes, and I don't give a monkey's.
So you said that having Adrian was the last time you got excited.
It was. It was.
And now?
This is the last time today. Tomorrow will be even better. Tomorrow will be even better. Definitely, definitely. Tomorrow will be better. And you know, whether we were walking down and it's quite a strong wind, I just had the wind in my hair. The last time I felt this and wind was about 6 or 7 years ago. It could gush down and I wouldn't give a damn because I'm out. That's massive.
Sue has walked further than she has in 6 years, but agoraphobic's panic can fluctuate.
Were there any times where you felt the panic sensations building up?
Like now.
Right now? Let's just stop a moment, Sue. I just want to know what's happening right now. What's happening right now? What sensations are happening right now? Okay, Sue?
I'm panicking that I'm out.
Okay. What sensations are happening right now?
Here, it's good.
Is it your head spinning?
Yeah.
You know what I think might have set that off? It's that bus.
You
know how noisy that was?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe?
Wow! Have you just said it's on my head or something?
Yeah.
Just identifying that noise can trigger her panic is a revelation to Sue.
Nothing could ever describe the feeling that I'm feeling now. No, the chains haven't come off yet, but they're rattling loose. I went down by Kingston train station.
Where is that? That way?
I know nowhere, so...
We don't know anything, yeah.
Yeah, I walked down to the bottom and then to the left, and then just carried on walking all the way up.
Oh, did you have an attack? Or?
I had a bit of anxiety, but no attacks.
I have a feeling she might be slightly in denial, but she might have cracked it, and if she has cracked it, then fair play on her. Well done, you know. I don't think it's going to be that easy just to crack it like that, you know, especially if you've been living with it for 6 or 7 years.
Sue phones Adrian to tell her about her achievements, but she can't get through. Adrian's Auntie Mel has taken her on a rare evening out.
No, cool, let's be forwarded. Fucking... I can't speak to my daughter. I don't know why I'm speaking to her. Heather, I can't speak to her. She's got to be the first person I tell. She's the most important thing in my life. It's got to be her. It don't look like it's going to be, though, does it?
Despite a successful first day in the house, it still seems some way off before Sue could take Adrian to school.
I know it's going to be worth it. But I just want to hear her voice.
It's the third day in the house of agoraphobics. Today, Simon is going out for the first time. He's been stuck inside for 5 years, panicking at what strangers might think of him.
I get just this weird feeling as if I'm about to go on stage or something like that. You know, when you're pumping yourself up, listen to music or something. Come on. Just a reminder, when I'm out there, if I get to a stage where I'm going to panic, this is the stuff that I need to do whilst panicking. These are the things that are opposite of what I used to do. So that's looking at myself, you know, look at everything else. don't worry when I used to worry and ignore it instead of keeping my mind on it. So
all of them have now identified the fears which are driving the panic, and all of them actually have in their head what they need to do with it, but it has to go from their head to the heart. They have to understand how this really works and live it.
The professor now wants Simon to face his fear of strangers head on.
Okay, now
See that? Now that bugs me.
What?
When like,
what bugs you?
like the builders over there having a look and having a chat.
All right, okay, so that's because what? What's going through your mind about those builders having a look and having a chat?
Oh, they're smiling, looking over, and it just makes me feel self-conscious.
Right, okay. So, I'll tell you what I mean, do you think... So,
it's not rising my panic, it's just making me feel self-conscious.
Okay, and if you feel self-conscious, can I do something to draw attention to myself? So what I do is do some things to draw attention to myself.
Like say hello.
No. What I want to do, I want to, yeah, because I think there's a sort of element of you know, people think it's strange and weird and so on, right? Yeah? Is that right? Oh. What's happening? Do people think that I'm strange and weird and so on?
No, it's just, I know they're just curious about what's going on.
So why does it matter?
I've always felt about other people's opinions.
What?
I don't know why, just what other people think.
And what's the worst thing that people might think?
Well, that I'm an idiot or they don't like me or whatever. See, this is open. It makes me feel more like I want to like grab hold of something and...
Okay, because otherwise what?
Because I feel unsteady and I feel overwhelming.
And if you fall, what then?
And I'll be on the ground.
And then?
And I'll look up at this I was going to say ceiling.
Yeah, ceiling, and you look at the ceiling and
that's it.
So, should we try it? Let's lie down. Look up at the ceiling. Can you see the ceiling?
Oh, Jesus.
What's that?
It's a bit open. My anxiety raised right to a point there, and then it sort of subsided.
That's good. That's what I want to happen. And did anything bad happen?
No.
Okay.
But
I'm
on the floor.
Yeah, no. So sit up. Have a look. Sit up. So here we are, sitting on the street. Now let's see. Now let's have a look and see if people think we're idiots. Do you wave?
I thought I was just about to.
Fuck them. Because basically, should these people prevent you from reclaiming your world?
Definitely not.
How are you feeling? Come on, look.
You're a nutter.
That's what I said. That's what I said. And is it okay to be a nutter?
Yes.
Because I think you're a bit worried about being a nutter, really, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Come on, now your turn.
Yay!
For Simon's dad, Joe, a lot is resting on this treatment. He recalls the child he once knew.
It's always been a bit of a wrecker in actual fact. Even as a baby, he used to take the screws out of his cot and virtually collapse it, you know. He's always been a little bit adventurous as a kiddie, and always going missing somewhere or other, you know. As a very small child, he was absolutely bubbly.
At the House of Agoraphobics, Simon is beginning to think back to his childhood too.
I had to wear little suits to school in a normal comprehensive school because my mum dressed me like that. Yeah, and I had no choice in the matter. I got bullied, I got the shit kicked out of me, yeah. What it is all this stuff that's built up over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of my self-esteem being low and a life that I didn't want to lead, yet I felt pressured into all these things by other people rather than listening to myself. But I didn't listen to myself because
I don't know how you
I had no
describe-
self-esteem.
It's kind of like you've got a glass, yeah. And everything that bad happens, a little bit more liquid goes into that glass, yeah. And eventually, the glass overflows.
Yeah.
And that's where the panic comes.
When you grow up most of your life, in fact all of your life, thinking you're worthless and no one truly understands, then, you know, it's really hard.
The professor wants to find the root cause of final sufferer Archana's agoraphobia. She's finding it hard being without her sister, who moved from South Africa to live with her.
I guess at home I had a routine. It's my family environment. Just feel very lonely here. That's it. I know it's for the best.
80% of agoraphobics are female. There are a number of reasons for that. We don't know for sure, but it's probably to do with the role that women are expected to adopt, where it's much more acceptable for women to stay at home. In Archana's case, there are a couple of generations of women who have been very restricted in terms of their activities, and almost certainly this has had an impact on her development of agoraphobia.
She was under the protective shield of a mother and a sister. And of course, in the beginning, I didn't know what a problem was. So when she used to get tense, I used to shout at her rather than sort of support her. So I think that also didn't help her.
Paul tries to uncover the event that triggered Archana's fear of being alone.
The way you're feeling at the moment, the whole way you're feeling at the moment, desperate and alone and struggling, when was the first time you felt like that? First time. First time.
In my medical school days, I really did like this guy very, very much, and that was my first love, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And
this is the one you mentioned to me
yes,
before.
yes.
Okay,
I mean, it's just one and then Amrit. So, so it's just and like I said, when I truly love someone, I really attach myself, a lot. That is my mistake, and that's why when I feel like that person is, and that person did cheat on me. So
he essentially abandoned you. Yes. Yeah. How did that feel?
At that time, pathetic, but then I kept saying.
At that time.
At that time, I really felt.
But tell me about that feeling. Tell me about that feeling, because this is the feeling you got now, right?
Being left all alone.
Being left all alone. Sometimes, what happens to us in terms of anxiety is that it can be an echo. It's not that. It's not the same thing. It's not. It's not.
Like
not anything very. Not anything very deep.
I don't really
but it
need
can,
to deal with right
no,
now. I know what you're saying.
But I'm picking up on the feeling. If you can actually identify the nature of the echo, and if you can be clear and ground yourself in the fact that this is now. Now is how your future is going to develop, and what choices you're going to make. Now.
Paul wants Archana to face up to this fear.
Not at this point.
He asks her to stay in the house completely alone for 15 minutes.
I'm looking for.
I'm thinking 5 minutes now.
Oh, you've just dropped from 15
everybody's
minutes.
time.
So could we try 15? Now, two things can happen.
Can I walk out any time?
Of course, you're entirely free.
I don't want to waste your time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Actually, why do you keep apologising? So please do not apologise if I made a mistake and asked you to do too much. Promise me you will stop apologising. Will you promise you'll stop apologising?
Because
you've apologised all your life.
Yeah.
You've apologised the whole of your life. And actually, the apology is part of the problem. So how can you challenge those ideas? That's what I want. Okay, so you're going to sit with the camera until you're ready to come out, and then when you're ready to come out, you will come up to Sainsbury's. Yeah?
Paul goes out with the others, leaving Archana entirely by herself. 1 minute in, and Archana's getting restless.
Just been staring at the clock. You don't take any chances. No. That's it. I'm gonna go. I probably feel like such a fraud, but only I know what I did. 6 months is what I did. I'm not going to criticize myself for this, but I know I wasn't good enough. I'm doing exactly what Paul told me not to do, is criticize myself. And I really feel hopeless.
Archana is so scared of being left on her own, she hardly notices that she's walking down a public street alone for the first time in years.
We discovered that Archana being on her own was much harder than it first appeared. And that's partly because she's I mean, it's not that she's concealed it. I think she isn't particularly aware of it, but she's now become very aware of how important that is. Being completely in control and being completely on top of everything is important. The next step, interestingly, is not about her being around. The next step now is getting her completely comfortable with some of the other things, being out and about town, and then returning to this when she's gone round the edges, and so that the whole thing is imploded, and we're working with the core of the problem, which seems to be her being on her own and her being perfectly in control.
Now Archana has made it outside, Paul wants to challenge her and Sue further by taking them to a place they cannot run away from easily. A bridge.
The thing about crossing a bridge is not only can you not escape, but when you get to the other side, the only way back is across the same bridge. So as you go across, you're likely to become more and more panicky if your fear is that something bad's going to happen, you're going to need to escape.
Sue sets off first, with Archana following.
Clearly, Sue's somewhat ahead of Archana at this point, and hopefully she'll encourage her to make this step.
Sue manages to make it halfway across as Archana takes her first steps.
It's a huge bridge.
On top of learning to deal with the panic, she has to learn with dealing with being on her own. The panic makes it tougher. Nobody else has been entirely accompanied by other people for 29 years. So Archana is different in that way.
I've come far enough now. I can't wait for her. Oh, she's coming, she's okay, she's coming.
Archana is so put off by Sue's wavering, she turns back.
Oh, I can see Sue turning back. I'm not gonna go there.
Yes, I got very anxious then. I wanted to run.
Sue makes it over and waits for Archana to set off once again.
I was apprehensive and I just...
It's that. No, this is the thing. Okay, so what should you do?
Go again? No, but...
What? No, Archana, no.
No, I'm...
Where is she? Come on, stupid.
You now have to be prepared to panic. Please do not hide from the panic attacks. See you when we get back.
Tired of waiting for Archana, Sue crosses the road to walk back along the other side.
Come on, I did it!
Not over the bridge! I thought you would...
And Archana turns back again.
I think she just got really scared. I was scared, but I just went. I just had to go. And I think the thing with me, if I set myself a goal and I don't do it, I'll beat myself up for not doing it.
Unwilling to let Archana admit defeat, Paul negotiates with her.
I'm not sure I should do this, so I'm not even sure I'm going to offer it. If I were on the other side of the bridge, would you come?
Unfortunately, I think I will, which is horrible. Which I'm trying to say. I'm telling you, it's horrible.
I have to go part way up, not all the way. So it's a satisfactory compromise for today, only for today. This is a one-day only offer. I'm not cutting the apron strings tomorrow. She is.
In the end, with Paul's help, Archana gets to the other side. Back at the agoraphobic house, Archana calls her husband, Amrit.
When did I tell you about my day? Okay, talk to you later.
Busy?
Busy. He's got a presentation tomorrow.
Sorry?
He's got a presentation tomorrow, so he's in the library.
Okay.
I call him my scientist husband. He actually is very, very busy in the library. You're going to go and give me a call back in 5 minutes. So he didn't say much.
Archana's struggle to overcome her agoraphobia and help save her marriage has a long way to go.
God, I'm missing him.
Look how fast I can go.
While her mother Sue is in the agoraphobic house, her 8-year-old daughter Adrian is leading a life she's only been able to dream of until now.
I've been doing lots of things with my Auntie Mal. I went to Manelian Point and I've been swimming 3 times in a row and it was wicked. Very different because I'm going loads of places in every day. Makes me feel great. But I would like to go to those places with Mum.
She thinks her mum is going to come back and take her to school tomorrow, take her to the park tomorrow. You know, and I said to her, no, it won't work like that. There'll be days when her mum will say, I can't do it. And there'll be days when she'll say, yes, let's go. You know? So there'll be highs and there'll be lows.
In London, Mum Sue's treatment has been progressing. The professor thinks she's now ready to try out commonplace activities she could be doing with Adrian.
This is my last chance to get my life back. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And wherever it takes, whatever I have to go through to do it, I'm gonna do it.
First, Sue tackles the supermarket.
Yeah, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be casually walking around Sainsbury's on my own.
She's done an awful lot if you consider she's finding it difficult to get down to the end of her street, and now she's been wandering around, you know, bits of London and supermarket and stuff without anyone, so it's not all there yet, though.
Oh no, Nick, I can't do it. I can't do it. Oh my God.
No, take it. Take the guns away. Sue, that's it. You're doing really, really well. You're doing really well. Yeah? Stay with it. Let the sensate ride them out. Just ride them out. What's happening now?
My heart.
Your heart's pounding. Okay. I'm just wondering, when that announcement comes on, I'm not quite clear exactly what the effect is. I mean, I can see what the effect is, but I'm not sure what gets triggered.
I know, no idea.
Because it seems a bit similar to when the bus came past, when there's a kind of like sort of a loud noise.
Yeah, I think that's because, you know, there's all the doors slamming and arguing and shouting and noise and everything at home. And
sure.
I can't stand the noise.
Just need to check out, yeah. When you hear loud noises or doors slamming, do you get any kind of pictures coming into your mind of anything at that point?
Probably expect it to come off it. I don't know.
Right. Is that kind of what happened when you were in there?
Yeah. Or there's a rouse or shouting.
That kind of sense. Okay, stay with it. Stay with it. Sue. Stay with it. Stay with it. Sue. Plus, when you're closing your eyes, why are you closing your eyes?
Blocks it out.
Okay, I need you to open your eyes. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Following Sue's successful shopping trip, Archana is now about to face her biggest terror.
I don't think I'm ready for this as yet. You know you're not ready? It's like telling you, I think you should take the exam tomorrow or now. I'm not ready.
Public transport is a no-go area for agoraphobics because of their fear of panicking in a place they can't get out of straight away.
Why am I getting upset? I don't know. I really don't know. It just feels upsetting, but I don't know why. I don't know if it's to do with frustration from feeling that I can't do it.
All three now have to travel on a train together. It's their most daunting task to date.
Oh, fucking hell. I don't want to do this.
Sue is so scared by the noise of announcements, she gets on immediately.
Now I'm actually sat on the train with no idea where I am or where I'm going.
I don't particularly want to do this. but we should.
No. I don't need to. I need to achieve so many other things before that.
Petrified of what other passengers may think of him, Simon takes his time before joining Sue.
I'm not as brave as them.
But Archana is wavering again.
I don't want her to be left on.
Give it a shot if you like. Yeah, go hold it.
Archie, come on, man. We need to do this.
I need to get more panic attacks. Not on the train. I'm not prepared for that today. I'm sorry. Not on the train. No.
This morning has probably been one of the hardest days I've ever had in my entire life. But I had to do it because I need to do it. in order to get on with my life and do what I'm doing. We need to do this in order to not be chained up.
I think that's why I'm getting upset.
We cover all of it.
How do you mean?
Just going back to the thing of how much I've missed and how much I've got to look forward to, and I think it's coming down to that and realising that in there. I'm just afraid that Archie's going to feel like she's failed and not wanting to.
That's why Debbie's going to be working with her. That's fine. It's different things at different points. Yeah,
She's got
it's okay.
darling.
That's okay.
Oh,
well done.
Oh my gosh. Do you want to stay here and just watch some other shows?
No.
All three are still panicking at everyday activities. The professor needs to increase the pressure. Next week, Paul plans to take the three agoraphobics across the world to the most challenging place he can think of.
You'll be moving to a different house. The different house will be in a different country.
What?
So, country?
Here they will confront an agoraphobic's biggest nightmares. Foreign crowds.
How dare you tell me if I've got to walk down that boxy street?
I've had a few hairy moments, panicked like a bastard.
Strange places they can't escape from.
Oh my God, can't stand this anymore. One of us needs to go tell them we're going.
Being alone very far from home.
I didn't say that I wanted to be on my own and do that. I just wanted my agoraphobia to go away.
And it's a 13-hour flight just to get there.
You're in a Boeing 747-400.
I don't really want to know.
But the future of the agoraphobics treatment hangs in the balance, as Paul's ambitious idea doesn't quite go according to plan.
I'm terribly sorry. I'll go down my knees if necessary and ask your forgiveness for that.
Now I know you're taking the piss. What makes you so different from every Tom, Dick, Harry? Nothing.
You know, we tried bringing people to Tokyo and it's probably not working.